We had a busy day. We had to patch up some stuff on the house out here where those bees were living inside it, and finally killed them all. Waited like a week to make sure we didn't see any going in and out because I don't want to trap them inside the house. But we got the Triumph apart, carbs are apart, parts are ordered for it, and then we've got to get that Jetta up here, right? Get back on track. Got that Harley for sale out there. So I think we put the Jetta here. We try to line it up so that if I do have to pull it into the garage, I can kind of wiggle things out on this side and like pull the front up in. Most of the things I'm doing, the weather's been so nice, nice and cool out, and not rainy. I think I can get a lot of work done right here, right? Just park it, start taking the front clip off, start taking wiring harness stuff apart, and prepare to pull the engine out. Because really, once the engine's out and once wiring and dash things that I need are out, we can get the thing off to the scrapyard and free up some driveway space. So yeah, got to air up the tires, and I made sure to pop the battery in the charger for a couple days. It had gone down quite a bit. I think what had happened is this charger is junk, right? I had it plugged into this, and it was at 8 volts. So I tried plugging it into the ATV battery, or the three-wheeler battery, and that same thing, it didn't charge it up. But I put up both of them on my trusty one, and they took a charge. Good to go. So yeah, air in the tires, install the battery, and see how easy it starts up. All right, well, we're aired up. We got a new battery. There's really no reason why it wouldn't start. This car's always been really good to me, so I've kind of been good to hit. It's just old and beat up. So, poor Michigan car. There we go. We'll start digging into this thing finally. I didn't do anything last night because it was getting a little late and I didn't want to make a ruckus. But what I want to do is pull off the exhaust sections at a time. Just kind of decide where's the point where it's obnoxious and annoying to people, and where's the point where it still sounds good without being super quiet. I don't know. Maybe I'll just decide to make it as quiet as possible anyway. I kind of like that in my old age. But the only thing that's been done to it other than stock is that the catalytic converter clogged up at one point, so that got gutted and welded back together. So that cat up there is hollow, and then stock pipes, stock exhaust all the way back out. I'll start it up real quick, just get an idle sound with it as it is. Alright, so muffler off, no cat. Let's see idle difference, and then maybe we'll take it down the road. See, I think even that's getting a little loud for me, for my taste, so we'll probably make sure we have mufflers. Oops, probably make sure that we have enough mufflers and resonators on this that you can still tell it's a diesel, but I don't know if I want to just rip it loud. Well, this engine always made well, not engine, the car made a rattle whenever I'd shut it off. I thought it was just because I have the anti-shutter valve disabled, but look at it. So that mount is all borked and detached, so it's probably just that rattling. It probably rattles all the way down the road. Here's everything we took out. The main things that I wanted is we've got, even though it's short, really good section of straight pipe there, and then this pipe, well, it's rusty on the outside. There's really nothing wrong with it. So you have a straight section and a bit of a bend we can work with if we need it. Ooh. Amber lamps. Okay, so we'll check the idle again. I really don't think it's going to sound much different than the last one, but who knows. So I think just start tearing the front end out, taking out any accessories that may want to keep, because I don't know which coolant bottle I'll use. Probably try to use this air box. I saw a guy that stacked his over here on the Mark II. It seemed to work pretty well. We also need to figure out where intercoolers will go, and there's a lot of things that I can take off that'll make it easier to pull out. Yeah, and then we kind of need to inventory the inside, because I want to take the dash out to get to the wiring. And the Mark II's airbox is in the front seat, and then I think it's empty. I stole some foam for a project. So, yeah, this is all stuff I think I'm just going to go ahead and scrap. I thought about keeping that upper, but I don't need two, right? Yeah, I just don't. So, unless I need to get... how do I get to the fuel stuff on this one? Is it under the rear seat, or is it in the trunk? If it's in the trunk, I'm screwed, because the trunk is got the other engine in it. Let's see. Yeah. So if it's up there and not under the rear seat, it could be a pain to get to. And we can still get to it, but it won't be fun. Making pretty quick progress. Front end's off, radiator and all that stuff's out. So far I haven't had to cut anything, so that's good. Even though stuff like the air conditioning I'm not going to probably use at all, right? I still like to keep it. Like, there's no reason to break the hose if there's nothing wrong with the hose, right? Because if one day I decided to try to shoehorn air conditioning into it, I'll have the stuff. And yeah, there's my old frost heater. Those things are great. And all those do, like, this line reaches here, right? So it just ends up going in line with the coolant. It's 1,000 watts and it circulates it, so your whole engine's nice and warm. Highly suggest for anybody that lives in the northern states. And other things like these we'll have to get right now, the fan stuff, but like even the headlight, it's like get a tag on it when I unplug it, that way I don't have to guess when it goes back in. It's one of my add-ons, oil pressure. This is all disgusting because this tube was leaking and I didn't do anything about it for years. I just wrapped duct tape around it and hoped for the best. Well, the best was covering all this stuff in oil. So we'll probably try to get some degreaser in here as we're working on the other stuff, get as much off as we can into our bins while we're here in the driveway. Super quick progress check, nothing really exciting. This is just for my own use, right? Kind of just working our way up the sides. Get everything unplugged. Gonna have bottom one's coolant, top one's power steering. We won't have power steering, we won't have air conditioning. A bunch of this stuff can go. So we may look into redoing that belt. But I think to do it properly, you have to make an idler for the power steering area. Like, you can cut out the AC, but you have to have a pulley here. So we'll see how that goes. It may be something where we just leave the pump in place, and all you need to do really is take this line and connect it to this line, right, and have just enough fluid in there that it can circulate it so it doesn't go nuts. It has a little bit of lubrication. So we'll see. Maybe we'll do that, or maybe we'll figure out an idler, or maybe somebody makes one. I haven't even researched it yet. So yep, we'll keep chugging away at it, but it's starting to get dark, so I'm gonna bring the bike in from the road. Real fast fuel line check. So filter, is that a filter? I don't fucking know. Who cares? Bottom line goes to the clear one, which goes to this 90. Top one goes to black line, which goes up to the banjo. So I would imagine that banjo fitting, higher pressure, that's not the return, right? Little rubber hose, that's not going to be feet. Well, that's rubber too. I guess it doesn't matter because all the high pressure happens here. So one's returned and one's a feed. We'll figure that. Oh, hey, look, arrows, right? Is that an arrow pointed that way? Oh, maybe not. Doesn't matter. Clear line on the bottom to the 90. Black line on top to the banjo fitting. That's all we need to remember. real close, getting real close to having the engine out. I'm going to call it a night. It's getting kind of dark. Go spend some time with the lady. But most of the wiring is pulled and away from the engine. There's a couple things like this coolant line I actually tore when I was trying to pull it off, but that goes to the heater box anyway, and I'm not sure I'm going to bother hooking that up ever. I might just get electric heat for the interior, just something so I have defrost, because it won't be a winter car. It won't really be a rain car. If I get caught in the rain, it'd be nice to have the defrost, but who cares? Yeah, so here we are. All I got left now is I will have to get it up in the air a bit to unbolt the dog bone mount in the back, because the way these newer mounts work, right? You get here and here, and it's like a pendulum, and the engine swings, and then the dog bone in the back keeps it from swinging. And then the axles. So disconnect axles, disconnect dog bone, shifter cables, some miscellaneous vacuum lines, and a couple electrical that are left, and then this thing can come out. So moving right along.